Welcome everyone to Walking After Whiskey. I'm Shorty.
And I'm Travis. We're going to break down your latest episode of The Walking Dead tonight.
We're also going to break down some top shelf whiskey. And this was actually literally on the top shelf in the liquor store. I had to have somebody get it down for me.
Everything's a top shelf for Shorty. She's only 5'2". We're also going to break down Highland Park 12 years age.
He actually gave me an inch.
It's not the first time a woman said that to me.
Look at the flowers. Look at the flowers.
Season 10, episode 14. Let's get to the review.
Let's get to the review. Jeez Louise. Oh, I didn't even cheers you with my whiskey. Wait. My bad. My bad. My bad.
Oh, Jet, here we go. I'm driving home later, people.
I'm not driving home.
There's no one else on the road. Thank you, Paul.
Ooh. Ooh. That's smoky.
Give a second.
Smoky.
Good intro.
Smoky. It's still smoky. Okay, so I do want to start out to say, we saw some flaws in our last filming, so we wanted to be a little bit more hygienic, a little bit more safe this time around. So basically what we've implemented is every single thing that we're going to touch tonight has been wiped down with some sanitizers. We have that readily available for whenever we feel like we need to touch something. The other thing that we've actually implemented is I pre-poured, after sanitizing that bottle in my hands, we pre-poured fillers. So and we each have our own. So whenever one of us feels like we need to have a little bit more of a taste, we have our own extra glass to fill from. So I just wanted to point that out because we are very conscientious of everything going on in the world right now, and we're scared as fuck.
Yeah, during this pandemic, I see a lot of people out there throwing parties on Facebook, and just remember, have a plan. You know what I mean? If you're going to have people over, social distance, keep away from even your bestest friends, and make sure you keep yourself clean and wiped down.
I know, I haven't gotten hugs in like so long.
I know, right? And remember, California's doing a great job. Good job, California. We got props from the Surgeon General today. It's a pretty big deal. So a lot of people up here, a lot of people are doing the right thing.
All right. Let's get in.
All right.
Let's go.
So the first thing we get to see, we already alluded to, or we actually seen last week, that Carol hired Negan to kill Alpha by letting him out of his cell. This time we actually got to see the whole interaction, how it broke down with Negan in the cell.
How Carol said.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That's what Carol said, but I literally wrote down in my notes, like, fuck Carol. Carol sucks. Because, again, she walks away, like, in something so climactic as what's going to happen, and then Carol chooses to walk away again. Yeah. But my question is, why doesn't Negan just take the head back to Alexandria? Like, why? Well,
first of all, it's pretty shitty because Carol wants to be the one that puts the fingers up in the air like Eminem and puts the head on the spike to say, here you guys, you put my kids on a spike, I'm putting Alpha's head on a spike. It's very selfish of her, right? Yeah. It could have been not even just a trophy, but just look what we've all accomplished. Now it was more Carol of just like, I did this, F you guys. And then what she told Negan was basically, I'm not coming back for a while. I don't know when I'm coming back. And she's like, I don't owe you anything. I let you out. You almost died anyways. You killed our people. Just do what you want to do. You're Negan now. Go be Negan. But Negan's not Negan anymore. Anytime Negan has been reared back in his head, he wants to just kill that Negan inside of him. So,
and even just like physically, he looks different. Like he looks smaller. Like I don't know if that's by design or whatever effect that was to make that happen, but he actually looks just smaller now. Sure. Like he does not look like the same person anymore.
Well, he didn't eat very well in prison, and obviously when he was out with Alpha, he had to fight for the scraps he got anyway. So it's not like he's being nourished that much. I mean, his brain's obviously still getting food because he's still the Negan when he needs to be, but yeah, his brawn isn't there anymore.
Right, for sure. All right, so then we jump to the aftermath and we see that Rosita has interesting wounds. But the big part about that scene, though, is that Eugene finally, like after the encouragement of Rosita, Eugene finally has to kind of come out and say, okay, I've been talking to an outsider.
Yeah. It's a really kind of awkward room where everyone's coming in. It was a victory, but no one feels like they've won anything. No. And Eugene kind of said, after all we've lost, I'm ready to be this fool that goes in there, risks his life to just go meet new people. Like we've lost a lot. We don't have the numbers anymore that we had before. We need to start branching out again and meeting people. And so Eugene's like, I've been talking to someone, and everyone's like, how long's it been going on to?
Well, yeah, had Ezekiel not stood up, we don't know where it would have gone. But Ezekiel stands up for him. Hi, Mochi. Yeah. Ezekiel stands up for him, and then all of a sudden everything's, okay, go ahead. Take your people and go.
The exact same questions I have. But let me just ask you a question. Like, Eugene saved us from the saviors. Eugene has done a lot for us, and Eugene should have a little bit more. I mean, obviously he's part of the council. Eugene has a big role to play, and if you trust this person, then I trust you too.
Right.
And right now, Ezekiel's playing on house money anyways. He isn't planning on living any longer. He's like, you know what? I'll go with you.
Yeah. So we see some significant goodbyes. We see Jerry says goodbye to the king. Magma says goodbye to Yumiko.
Right.
So we see some pretty significant goodbyes, which means who knows who's coming back at this point. Like,
Right.
the show made a point to have these very particular. So I don't expect Ezekiel. I mean, he doesn't expect to come back either.
Right.
So.
But also kind of what I thought about when Ezekiel was leaving was, if he is going to find someone that's going to save him, then it can be where he's at right now anyways. So
Right.
why not go on Brand until you might find something there that could help you? And so, he said it's a very common surgery back in the days. So where else could they maybe have this type of stuff? In a big city. So that's where they're going right now. I don't think they lead to the actual city they're going to, but you see them walking in almost as beautifully as Rick walked out of Atlanta back in the day with his cars.
That's exactly what it was down that freeway.
Yeah.
That's exactly. And actually, I told Cameron and Paul, I'm like, oh, look how poetic that is.
It is, right?
It is
Just a
very
total
poetic,
10-year span of just bam, right?
Yep.
One's burning, smoke in the dust, and now there's going into just nothing there at all.
Exactly. So that was cool. Let's talk about Carol and her freaky ass mind again, because good Lord, she goes off the deep end, and now but we get to see Alpha, so that was kind of cool. Like her situation was over, so we get to see Alpha, and Alpha's kind of haunting Carol a little bit because Carol's a freak. So there's that, and then of course something turns in Carol's head where she comes back to reality and is gonna make things right again. So.
Let's break that down a little bit. So she went full Rick in the prison, where Rick's getting phone calls from everyone that's died, and he actually is seeing these people and hearing voices in his head, where people actually hear Rick going to phone calls that aren't happening anymore. And she sees Alpha talk to her, and I'm just wondering if maybe this is happening because this is the one time where Carol didn't really get her closure. Carol didn't get to kill the bad guy. Carol didn't get to be the person
but
that
she
did
knew
everything.
she wasn't going to do that, though. Like, she specifically basically hired Negan to do that.
Sure.
So she wasn't going to get that anyway. That's the part for me that I'm a little disturbed about. Like, she wasn't going to get that. So you don't get to have a demon in your head when in the whole thing, it was never going to happen.
Right.
Like, she couldn't do it, and she fucking killed a bunch of people trying to get it done. So
Right.
there's that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just and maybe it's one of those things where like you get what you wanted, but it's not what you thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Because obviously someone dies and this person's dead, but you didn't get that closure. Like she didn't get to be the one that got to kill the person that chopped her son's head off. She doesn't get to be that person. So I don't know why that exactly happened, but obviously a little bit of Alpha is living in Carol right now, and a little bit of Alpha is living on.
But I
Beta
guess
right now,
my
too.
epiphany just now actually is, she had been trying to get to Alpha this whole time, and so now you see why she's so irritated with Negan for taking so long.
Sure.
I'm sorry, folks, it just hit me like the light bulb. It might have gotten brighter in here because the light bulb just went off.
Right.
Because that was very what took you so long? That came up actually a couple times, a couple different situations. So sorry, y'all.
What do you think about
Sometimes it takes a minute.
What do you think about Half Moon and his very best Chris Stapleton impression?
That song was terrible.
Yeah, right?
Like, could you not find a better artist to make a fake song for you? That song was.
It might have been him. Was it really him singing? I want to say it sounded a lot like him. Like him.
I love him. I love everything that he's in. I was inconsolable when he died in Sons of Anarchy. That was terrible. I actually turned to Paul and I was like, really? This is what they came up with? Are you kidding? Like, Stapleton is such an icon,
Right.
and you could tell they were kind of going that direction, and
Yes.
that song was shit.
It was shit.
And we're spending a minute on this because that's how shitty it was.
Yeah, grown men out there, it's okay to cry twice in your life. When Old Yeller dies and when Opie died. Those basically the only times you get to cry in life, unless your family member dies.
I actually couldn't watch that scene either. Shocking. It's
Shocking. Here we go.
I know.
So Beta kind of takes on this, obviously this new alpha role. He hasn't really come into it yet, and it's almost very befitting for him to come into a restaurant that had a live performance of him playing in that town, and actually see posts of him around the room, break a guitar, and just kind of who is Beta without Alpha? Like, he doesn't even know. He was wearing a sack mask like Mankind before Alpha even got there. Right. So he's already conflicted with how big of a person he was before the apocalypse. And now he has to become a bigger person again because the people he was leading are now all gone or disbanded, or he fed them to Alpha on the way here.
Right.
So it's almost kind of like a rebirth out of himself again by playing his music in the center of town on an old record player, right? To have people all come into him again, and he stands in front of his parishioners, just like Jim Jones, as his dead people come up and walk up to him on the street. Pretty cool scene.
I did like that part where you could kind of get that realization that it didn't have to be all about Alpha. Like that part, and it took a minute to get there. I was like, this got to go somewhere, right? But so it took a minute to get there, but. And when he takes her head off the spike, like it was like, you're going to be a weak bastard. Are you kidding me right now? So I was actually very relieved that the character finally came into his own. And like, so now I feel like he's going to get somewhere. But I feel like the mask alteration is weird.
Well, it
doesn't look good. It looks really cheesy to me.
His psyche is already broken, right? This is the transformations he's been through the past couple of seasons. He already is a broken individual in his brain. For sure. But it almost seemed like when, he knew he was going to become the new Alpha now, right? And so when a person actually mentions it to him, it breaks his head. Like, what'd you just say? What'd you just say? And it does, like, because he knew what he was going to say. It's like, you don't have people telling you what you're going through.
But interesting, though, so... And we don't know what's going on with the whispers right now, how quickly the word spread that Alpha's gone. Everybody must know, right? But it's interesting that as soon as a few of them see Negan, it's like, oh, you killed Alpha, you're the new Alpha.
Yes.
So that was interesting to me, that Beta automatically assumes it's him, but the whisperers actually assume it's the person that killed Alpha. So that's interesting to me.
They don't allude to a whole lot about the Whisperers from the comic book. But in the comic book, they rape people a lot. They raped women, younger children, which is Lydia, why she was so afraid about them. They kill people a lot. Basically, if you want something, you'd kill them and that was yours. So if you were married, someone killed you, that was your wife. It's very much like a wolf pack mentality, right? The bigger wolf takes what he wants, and then basically we have our hierarchy. Alpha, beta, gamma. Like, this is what they do. And so when you see somebody that takes out this huge person that even beta bows down to, of course they think now this person that was already in their pack is now the Alpha, because that's just how they've been bred, and that's how Alpha has been training these people. So they're just following her cult.
But I just find it interesting. So beta's out of the picture, going through his own little world of, I'm going to be the next Alpha. Sure. But the Whispers are actually in a different world going, no, it's Negan's going to be the next Alpha. So I just thought that was, I thought that juxtaposition, is that the right word? I thought that was actually pretty cool. So.
Yeah, it was. And if you think just how broken these people are, you see Alpha like going through and just breaking these people down like horses. And literally, as soon as someone takes her out, it's not even, they don't even think about it. Like, he's the new Alpha. They get on one knee for this guy, right? And hilariously, as Daryl finds Negan, and they have the best interaction. I'm like loving this.
I loved it so much.
Right.
Like hopefully you guys watched the last episode, hopefully. But I hated the last episode. This episode I absolutely loved. And it got better watching Negan and Daryl interact. Like, it just got better and better. So I was like, like some fine wine.
They've been through so much shit. Like, I mean, Daryl's the only one that punched Negan during the whole standoff where, Negan bashed Glenn and Abraham's head in. Like, Daryl's the only one that put his life on the line for his friends. And so Negan already respects the hell out of Daryl. You want to keep him as his own, try to break him on Easy Street, which didn't happen. So these guys have this crazy hate, love relationship for each other. It's really very weird. And as people all bow down, Negan tells his new followers to give him their gun and tie Daryl up. And Daryl is flipping the fuck out, right? And the last second, he fucking kills these people, and then him and Daryl, kill these guys. And then Negan's just, swinging his bat like the old Negan, and I'm just loving the interaction, because we know that Negan's gonna, be friends with them, but Daryl doesn't know what the fuck is going on, right?
Right. And now Daryl understands, and Negan's not tied up anymore. The whole thing was so great. And so I guess kind of left up in the air is, where's Lydia? Like, both of them want to know where Lydia is, because Daryl just has, it's like his sister, I'll say. I don't think it's a daughter relationship. I think it's more like a sister. Right. And then Negan really cares for her as well. Sure. So the last thing I wanted to talk about, and we had just talked about this, and you kind of schooled me a little bit, but Negan says... basically, now I forgot the line. I got to go back. I'm going on furlough, so I've been drinking for a long time this evening.
Today,
I'm just going to say that right
today.
now.
Today.
So you don't kill people that don't deserve it. And I was like, dude, Glenn didn't deserve that shit. And then you schooled me and you're like, well, he did kill a bunch of his people. I don't care.
In their
Glenn
sleep.
didn't deserve it. Whatever.
They all deserved it. But it's hilarious though. Like these guys are gonna have just the best relationship. It's gonna be great the next couple episodes to see how they work together. I'm really excited.
Well,
to
I
see
think
them.
the difference is too is that Daryl in no way wants to be a leader. He never has. He never will. And so I think, Negan's always wanted to be a leader, right? But I think there's never going to be that competition, and I think that helps the relationship quite a bit.
Well,
but
Negan doesn't want to be a leader anymore either. Like Negan said, he wants to be like almost like Rick. I just want to be a gardener.
I still don't trust him. We still can't trust him 100%, right?
Just because he killed Glenn.
We can't do it.
Until you see him kill Glenn, you have no voice in the conversation.
Whatever. So we see Carol. Hey, Carol. Carol comes back.
Jesus.
Carol is a new Karen.
Carol Baskin.
Oh no.
She's become Carol Baskin all of a sudden.
Yeah. So it's. I'm excited. I'm really bummed that they can't finish this season right away. So I'm really bummed as to what kind of the future holds. We'll fill in random content, by the way, so that you guys keep watching, because you have nothing better to do right now than watch our show.
We know where you're at. You're in front of the internet. That's where we live. Internet.
Exactly. But I'm really excited with the direction. So some things to come. We know Maggie's coming back. You've been talking to me about this for like 18 years now. It seems
head off about it.
So she's coming back. But it's interesting, like the amount of key people that are leaving. Ezekiel's leaving soon. Like we can see that coming. The writings on the wall. So it's interesting. So I'm really excited for what happens coming.
So the very end of the show, we actually get to see Eugene and Yumiko and Ezekiel come to the actual city. And Ezekiel has a great laugh because this person, Stephanie, who Eugene's been talking to,
who's crazy,
has been setting up scenes kind of like the movie Mannequin, all through the town. Like he ties up a security meter maid to a car, to a person that can't get out of the car, and Ezekiel is just like going nuts, hysterically laughing. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like I was laughing before Ezekiel was laughing. Then when he started laughing, I was dying. My stomach hurt.
I got to give a shout out to Aaron Hartman, who was like the first person that posted on our Facebook page about that chick, about how crazy that chick is.
That was funny.
And I actually had not seen the episode yet, so I was like, what the hell is this? And so when I saw it, actually that was more amusing for me to see where that he actually got that from. Yeah.
Aaron's nice.
So good job, Aaron.
Yeah, so we can see that they found Stephanie. She's actually not that big. If she actually the character who I think she is in the comic books, she's not around very long, but she's very flamboyant, almost like a tank girl type of person.
Flamboyant?
So which is kind of funny, just how we see she's a feather pink boa and like a princess like half cut jacket.
I feel like besides the half cut jacket thing, I feel like she would be me. Like I feel like that's what I would do in the apocalypse. Like I'm gonna set this shit up. We're gonna have mannequins in the window.
Yeah.
I'm wearing pink. Yeah.
Something weird though was, remember how many people we saw with Rick and Glenn, the tank, and how many zombies were in the city? There's not many zombies in this city.
No, because she has them on the windows. It's a major city, and they're all doing some weird vignette.
Right.
So, which is fantastic.
Can't wait to see where we go.
Yes. All right.
Good review.
We don't even know what a clank anymore.
So tonight we're reviewing it's actually a Scotch tonight. We do whiskey and Scotch. It's a Scotch whiskey. It's Highland Park 12. It's the Viking honor. It's actually very smoky.
Like I licked a fireplace.
Yeah.
Smoky.
It's almost like Thor came up and put a cigar out in your.
All the flavors I'm supposed to detect. Maybe a little bit of citrus. Maybe. Just smoke. All I get is smoke. We actually had barbecue for dinner tonight, and the smokiest brisket on the planet couldn't compare to the smoke.
Yes,
so,
I smell smoky orange, smoky jasmine, smoky. I think it's supposed to taste honey, but I don't taste any honey. It's a Scotch.
I actually think I smell Smokey the Bear in here.
Yeah. You put your campfire out with this, and it's just adding more smoke to your smoke. Like, if you could bottle putting out your campfire, this is what it would taste like. But some people like Scotch. Some people like smoky Scotches.
Travis, do you like Scotch?
I don't like Scotch.
I know. So, some of you, like, if you watch the last episode, you're gonna realize that I purchased whiskey and such unless it's Bacardi, it's by the look of the bottle. But I did get some help from my neighborhood liquor store, which I love in Pleasant Hill. It's fantastic. They actually gave us some glasses.
Oh, gorgeous.
Bridge glasses. They're lovely. Yeah, I took my first sip and I was like, it was like the dragons.
I'll tell you what, I always drink my alcohol neat because I always want to have a good flavor and be able to give a real good review of it. I can actually sip this. It is a Scotch which I don't really like very much, but I can sip it very well and not like want to kill myself. So if you like Scotch, you'll probably love this because I can tolerate it. If that makes sense.
I can tolerate it.
That's a good.
It's really smoky.
Yeah.
Like, let me just have my little chaser of rum.
I don't know if I hate Scotch more than I hate people that talk about Scotch, how good it is. I think it's almost like the same discussion.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard anyone talk about Scotch.
No, you never talked to someone you hated before then.
All right, so gotta do. I know. The bottle is pretty. Shut it. So we want to shout out a couple people. We want to do a couple shout outs. So I'm promoting Undead Roller Derby today. Mm-hmm. So Undead Roller Derby, roller derby in general, if y'all haven't caught a match, you are missing out. Super action packed, and the people that do roller derby, number one, kick so much fucking ass, it's stupid. Yep. So, and I'm going to give a shout out to Kathy with the Sacramento Roller Derby too. Girl, you're my girl. You're all of our girl, right? So Kathy, thank you so much for all that you do and support us. Mm-hmm. Mindy, hi Mindy, because I know you're a fan now. But these, not only is it a cool sport that not a whole lot of people know about, but it is, it's a community. Like I went there by myself to just do a little bit of training with the Undead Roller Derby and was welcomed open arms. Like it's such an amazing community. So I really wanted to give a shout out. If you guys, during these times, we're not looking for anything for free by any means, but if you want us to help promote your business, please message us on Facebook, Instagram, whatever you need to do. If you can hunt us down on whatever you need to hunt us down with. But please, we would be more than happy to do a shout out and help promote any business that's out there, especially any local business that's out there. So
yeah, roller derbies girls are really cool. They're so fun.
Awesome. I have like crushes on all the roller derby girls.
They bring their whole family out there with their kids and everybody else, and they can take shots better than you, and they can out roller skate.
They will kick your ass.
Yeah, you think you're pretty
They
tough.
will kick your ass.
Yeah, these girls come at you pretty rough too. So believe me, they're a fun group to be with. I've only met one team so far, and I'm like already in love. So thanks, guys. Love you guys.
Love you guys.
All right. Well,
all right,
good review.
Let's do, yeah. Good review. Let's clink the bottom. Cheers, y'all. Smoky. Smoky.
Only you can
fire extinguisher with that smoke.
Only you can prevent Scotch fires.
Oh, goodness gracious. Smoke.